Yes.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. And what was the recruitment process for that? Like, how rigorous was it before you
It
joined?
was, well, it was and it is one of the most toughest, I would say, the process to get in. Not that
Yeah.
it's impermeable, but it's definitely one of the toughest ones. It was a 2-day process. The first day started off, if I remember right, yeah, the first day started off with a group discussion. We were 5 of us, and we were given a task. And the goal or the objective of that task is not to find a solution, but rather to see how we work as a team. Because as you know, flying an airline, flying for an airline, or flying an aircraft which is multi-crew certified, you need to be able to work as a team and not just say, okay, this is my office and I'm going to work just by myself. So
Yeah.
the objective of that group discussion was to see if you can work in a team.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
was the first thing that we did on the first day, the group discussion. After that, we were taken for a written exam, which was also, I mean, it's called a written exam, but it's on the computer. Multiple choice questions, that, as most of the pilot tests are. It's a multiple choice question, ATPL level.
Yeah.
Uh, After that, we were taken for a simulator check. So my check was on the 777. These guys, the one who check you on the 777 or sorry, 747 or whatever it is, are not looking for if you can fly the jet, but they're looking for if you know the basic principles of flying, and if you know the
Yeah.
differences what you will encounter when you're flying a propeller aircraft, or a turboprop aircraft and a jet aircraft. So the basic task was for us was on the jet to take off, no autopilot, level off at a traffic pattern altitude, 1,500, come back on the downwind, and then join the ILS and come back and land. That was straightforward. That was the only thing they were looking for. While you were doing that, they would be looking at how you handle the aircraft. Are you trimming properly? Are you using the basic principles, pitch, power, attitude, your communication, your understanding of ATC instructions? Mm, and basic common sense when you're flying, basic airmanship skills. Nothing more
Okay.
than that.
Yeah.
Nothing. You don't have to know the systems of the 777. Don't have to know how it works, what happens, and if you set these flaps and what happens. Nothing. The examiner. There were two examiners. One was sitting on the left seat as the captain. One was sitting at the back observing. And the observing and the person in the left seat were quite helpful in giving you whatever you need. You want a checklist, they'll provide it to you. They want you to get the flaps down, the gear down, whatever it is. They were quite open and frank with you. So that was the simulator ride. That was the end of the first day, and the second day was it started off with a. I'm sorry. Yes, that was second day. Yes, correct. On the second day, we had a personal interview with the HR manager. After that was the technical interview. Technical interview was based on your previous experience. So, if since I was a flight instructor, they asked me what airplanes I'd flown, and then they started asking me questions about my airplanes in general. So, how would you handle a particular emergency? How does the fuel system work? And then they asked me what was my favorite aircraft and how does a jet engine work, so on, basic questions. If I was hired, would I be able to cope up with the jet training, advanced systems, um, questions pertaining to that, ATPL level questions. After that was the medical check, basically just a pilot medical for a class one. Because of course, if you've passed all through that, and then you should be able to medically also be fit for the job. So they did the medical as well, and that was the end of day two. So to tell you in all honesty, on the first day we were 5 people, and of the 5 people on the second day there was only me and that's one person for the next day. So all the four were taken off, and they were also pilots who've been flying for a long time. So it's a very rigorous process. Before me, on the previous batch, there were 15 on the first day and zero on the second day.
Okay.
So they take the
Yeah.
hiring very
Yeah.
seriously because in Cathay, it's such a major airline like most of the other major airlines, but because when they hire, they don't have much time to sit with you and start training like a
Yeah.
basic zero pilot. So they really want to see if you can work yourself up through the process, yeah, even after you're hired. It's just like um, I would say comparable to like IIT in India, where
Yeah,
not only just that you got in, but once you get in, you have to build up your
yeah,
own progress,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've even heard like, in some of the Middle Eastern carriers where the hiring process is like it is quite rigorous. So,
Yes, it
um,
is.
yeah.
Yes. I was previously selected. I was going to work when I was in the Middle East, working as a flight instructor. I had applied and I did get selected for Fly Dubai. I'm not sure if you know that
Mhm.
airline.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a small sister airline for Emirates. Yeah.
Mhm.
So their process was not so rigorous, but yes, it was also quite comparable. Yeah.